What's good, yo? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of Tokyo Ghoul. Gotta say, overall this episode was really good. The art animation was pretty good, music was great, voice acting, everything was spectacular. I gotta say, next week, judging from the next episode preview we got, the end, shit's about to go down. So let us begin. So we start this episode off with we got Skiyama over there speeding through his house in a wheelchair, and he like trips over like when he gets like to the front door, and then the man's like, "She's like, Skiyama, where are you going?" He's like, "Where else? To see Kaneki. I must go see him." I gotta say, but Skiyama in this episode, we see Skiyama and he's actually like back to his like normal self, but like. I mean, Skiyama, man. The comedy in this episode was really good because Richardson was Skiyama. That stuff was hilarious. And so then we see Heize and crew. They're just walking down this road and everything, sidewalk I should say. And we got Skiyama and what's his name? The guy that the guy that's always with him. I forgot his name. He was like he's telling like hey Skiyama, just so you know. Kaneki's not Kaneki anymore. He's now Heize Sasuke. He's lost all his memories. And while he's explaining this, and while he's explaining it, we see that Skiyama is gone. He's like rushing towards Heize. He's rushing towards Heize, and he trips right from. And the Heize is like, "You okay, sir?" And then the dude picks up and is like, "Excuse us." And after that, we then see Heize and crew. They go to actually Uta's shop, and they're looking to get masks made. What now? This episode doesn't really explain exactly the exact reason why Heize went to. All he says is like, "We're going to infiltrate the world of the ghouls." Doesn't really elaborate like this is like some CCG operative. Heize just wants to fuck around or something. I don't know. So then of course then Uta over the discourse being him. He's like asking all the questions. He asks Kaneki what do you guys meant like oh yes, what are your favorite things? Oh yes, oh you seem very serious. He's like talking to Uri. He's like, you seem very serious and intelligent. Mind if I make your mask weird? Why? Because it would be funny. And, he's like going on with like trying to get their mask made. And then the dude that's always kind of like his name has slipped my mind right now. He reports to I think he's actually Skiyama's father. I guess the head honcho here at the Skiyama household. He reports like hey he's been out, his appetite's returning to normal, blah 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 blah. And then we see that Skiyama's over there, like, looking up and, like, I don't know, like, just, like, Googling to see, like, trying to get some reason, guessing what Heize, or I guess just say Kaneki has been up to while he's been in a deep, dark depression. Seriously, man, Scout, he actually looks like his normal self now, because before, man, that man looked like shit. And then one of the other butlers there actually shows him this, video from the CCG. That was on CCG. It's actually of Kijima, I believe his name is, actually torturing this ghoul. Now, when I say torture, I mean like Jason torturing. I mean like we see like he has like this table right there with like some of his like equipment for cutting, and we see like this blurred out image. Which at first I thought it was the dude's dick, but apparently said it was his tongue. Don't know why it was pixelated then, other than just because censorship and TV rules in Japan, they had to censor that shit. That was probably the main reason, but yeah, the man, like, I swear, this man, like, this man's like the reincarnation of Jason. This man, like, damn, he's like, oh, yes, come at me, bro, he's talking to, like, I think it was like the crow or thing, I think he's talking to, actually, Skiyama's father, I forget his code name was. Bros was like I guess his code name or whoever Kijima is referred to in this video is torture stuff. And actually, before we saw stuff with the butler showing Skiyama's father the video, we actually see we went to like I guess the head honchos of the CCG, Hori I believe his name was, and he tells him Heize's plan about like the match. He's like no. And then he's like, oh, okay. They have a like quick little conversation about like it's dangerous, blah 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 blah. And then Heize leaves, and he and with this other CCG operative, pretty much we also see this old flashback to I guess a while ago before the events of the show actually happened. Maybe this was in the manga, and then Steve Harris putting it back in because that was something because I think 2 weeks ago they actually added back the scene with Juzu training with Mutsuki. That was early in the month, but they put it in there in that episode. This could have been the same thing with this. where we see Heisei just know he's not being able to control his Kagane, and Arima comes in, to I guess settle to fix the situation, tells him, and then the CG operative that's with says like, you just not want to see Heisei succeed. He's like, he's dangerous. He is a ghoul, which I mean that's true. And also one other thing, actually, while they were at Uta's shop, Uri, not Uri, Shirazu actually asked like, but we're not ghouls, and which are the Queen Squad actually technically ghouls? Because I mean they do have the red eye, they do have the Kaganes, but do they? Because I don't think they actually have like they're like full-fledged half ghouls like Kaneki, because I'm pretty sure these guys can actually eat normal food, because we have seen that with like Saigo. She eats normal food unless that food has like has some hidden human meat inside it. Otherwise they are, so I guess they only have like bits and pieces of like real ghouls. They just have like some RC cells, and and they have the Kaganes as well. So it's not like what happened with Kaneki where they put in Rize's organs inside of him. That's at least my theory, that they're not. So I guess they're technically not ghouls, but they're just kind of have like bits and pieces of ghouls, or maybe they're like Blade, from the Marvel universe, because Blade, he isn't like he has like the best parts of vampires, their strength and everything, but he can survive light, and I'm pretty sure, and but he still does have to drink blood, but he gets like subsidies, and he can just eat normal food, try to help him out, blah blah blah. But enough about me talking about Marvel. And so after they see after the footage leaks, this was actually like this, and this wasn't like some like deep classified information that got leaked on the internet. Like no, this was something that was on the CCG's actual website. And then he gets like he then gets chewed out by Horito, like or blah blah blah. Do you have a death wish, a death wish or something? He's like, no, I'm not afraid of death. How else we can get these goals? And then when I see Shirazu actually asks Heisei, we see a video. He's like, no matter, and he says actually, no matter what they are, human or ghoul, that's still too cruel. Which is kind of funny because, Heisei's Kaneki, and, Kaneki had to deal with the torture of Jason, which this dude looks like he's, like, right up there with Jason's torturing method. Like, I mean, goddamn. Like, I'm surprised that dude doesn't have that thing that Jason has where he was, like, taking off Kaneki's fingers and toes. And, Shirazu says to himself, but yeah, we still killed him anyway. And he's like, remember the Nutcracker. And then, Heisei is like, what'd you say? And he's like, oh, nothing. And then he just leaves. And so after all that, there's a bunch of the butlers that's come to Scab, and he tells like, oh yeah, it's our fault that Yukana or whatever the dude's name was got kidnapped and captured. And Scab was like, no worry. And then he tells Kane that he plans on doing a rescue mission to get back, and he also tells him like, that him and that Kaneki is the key, and that he thinks that just because Scalma thinks that because if Heisei looks at Scalma just once, bam, he's immediately gonna remember everything that happened. Scalma, come on, man. Like, you're not that important to Kaneki's life. If Toka couldn't do it, I doubt you could. And so after that, he tells him, like, okay, whatever. And then we see, Scalma actually talk to Heisei. He finds him, like, by this tree. It's just chilling, eating lunch. And, he tries to make up some conversation with Heisei, I should say. And Scalma's like, oh, yes, you are a fan of books? He's like, yes. She says, yes, are you a fan of Sen Takasaki's? And he actually says that he actually doesn't like her books because the main character in all those books always end up dying. So, and which at first, it's me, like, Scalp, we were both shocked. Like, wait, what? Kaneki, isn't Sentai like your favorite author? Like, you're always reading her stuff? Like, the Black Sheep, remember? But then you gotta realize, Heisei is not Kaneki. Heisei is its own separate personality from Kaneki. But at the same time, Kaneki was always been a big fan. Even in part 1, before all the shit went down, he would always read their books. But, and Heisei is a lot like Kaneki was in part 1, the first half of part 1. But from what I know, from little bits and pieces of the manga that I know of that happened later on, that we find out later on in Re. Now, I'm not going to give away any specifics. What we thought we knew about Kaneki, I'm just going to say this for this to anime onlys or people that have read that are not reading, or up to date on Re. I'm going to just say this. From what I understand, and from what little bits and pieces I saw of the manga later on when I was, reading the chapters, the stuff with, when Token became canon. What we think we know about Kaneki and his parents doesn't seem like that's actually entirely the truth. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll let y'all think about that as you will. But so then Psycho and the others and Musuki actually appeared. They're like, and then he says, like, "Oh, sorry, gotta get back to work," and he leaves. And then Tsukiyama like reaches out. I was like, "Kaneki." Another thing, actually, after the stuff with when the brothers told Tsukiyama that hey, it's our fault for getting kidnapped, blah blah blah. We actually see that Kane actually reports to Chie, tell him like hey, Tsukiyama's actually a lot better, and he tells him to show him the second photo, and so which is just another picture of Heisei. And so after that, we then see actually another alert part where actually we see Tsukiyama. He's in a disguise. We see him in like a few disguises trying to get to Heisei, but he's always with the Quake Squad that he never gets a chance to. We see him like hiding behind pillars and disguises. It's hilarious. Well, that was one of my favorite parts of the episode. And then after that, we see that actually Kanye actually hired a few guys about Giddy to take down the Queen Squad and just leave Heisei. So because Tsukiyama wants to talk to him and have him regain his memories and become Kaneki again. Now, so the overall the fight is, and then we see them fighting. The fight itself was overall really good. The art and animation was pretty good. Music, voice, all that stuff was pretty good. But there were a couple parts that I want to talk about. There was this one part where we actually see Mutsuki facing off against Torso. And I gotta say, Mutsuki, whew, the man's a beast. Like he's over there with his knives. He's just going ham on Torso, just slicing and dicing him, and then we got Torso just like, yes, keep going, stick me, stab me, stick me, stab me, stick me, stab me, stick me. I'm like, bro, relax, bro. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, bro, nah. And we got Urie over there. We actually see throughout the fight that actually Shirazu does not use his Queen K. He every time he tries to use it, he always keeps thinking the Nutcracker, which is probably the final words Nutcracker told him probably did some real damage to him on everything. Kind of like I said, it does kind of remind me of almost like a pseudo Rize Kaneki relationship we had in season 1. Only she wasn't actually taking control of him and all that shit. And so overall and then we see Psycho, Musi told her to hide, and then we actually see this ghoul, this big ghoul, actually he finds Psycho and actually starts strangling her. And then this dude in a black cloak shows up and just punches the dude in the face, sending him flying. I mean, he just went right across the parking lot or parking what are those things called? Where you just a bunch of parking spaces in one place? I forget what they're exactly called. He just sends him flying, and then Psycho just says thank you, and then he leaves. Now I'm pretty sure that's actually Arima, not Arima. Amon, Kotaro Amon. I'm pretty sure it's actually Kotaro Amon. And that's where the episode ends with the crew finding her, and she says oh yeah, this dude in black saved me, blah blah blah. Yeah. Overall, I really did this episode. The comedy was really great with Tsukiyama, and the fight was great. The art and animation was pretty good. The music was pretty good. Everything was it was always pretty awesome this episode. So overall, I give this episode a 9.5 out of 10. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Links are below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time. And I gotta say, next week, because we actually on the ending shot of the episode, we actually end on this final shot of Eto. And from the next episode preview, shit's gonna go down. So I'm looking forward to what they have in store for us next week. See you next time, guys.